Hey everyone, welcome back with Mac. Today we're gonna of course do our playthrough of Tekken 3 as King, the professional wrestler on the roster, and obviously this is gonna be the last episode of Tekken 3. I was thinking about doing like a Tekken Force. I just don't really like playing it in this game personally. So this is gonna be our last episode of Tekken 3 playthrough here. I was on the fence on playing a game with King and stuff like that, but man, I cannot speak today. Cannot gather my thoughts, but yeah, I was on the fence about playing as King in this game and stuff, but I figured, let's come back, finish off this Tekken 3 series real quick with a quick playthrough of me, smoking the roster as King, and hopefully pulling off some of his moves and stuff. So I'm probably gonna make myself look like an idiot in the process with a bunch of mixed moves, but I did go through the training, updated my moveset a little bit. May even pull out a few surprises for you guys. You never know. But we'll just have to see here. But after this, I'm thinking of doing some battle arena Toshinden. But that said, I mean, if this is somehow a video that blows up and you guys want to see some more Tekken playthroughs, I'll probably move. I've already done Tekken 4 on my other channel, and that's gonna get uploaded at some point. I'm not sure when. It was like one of the last playthroughs I did on my original Mac channel, so it's probably gonna be one of the last series I upload to this channel. But there's still I got Tekken Tag Tournament, Tekken 5 is gonna get played. May do some Tekken 7 at some point. Honestly, I think that's probably one of the worst stories I've ever played through. And if I play through Tekken 7 story, it's probably just gonna be me bitching the whole time about the narrator. It wasn't even like a so bad it's good kind of narration. It was literally like someone purposely tried to ruin the whole game story with how bad it was. Like I don't know what the hell they were thinking. But I don't know, like I said, we'll probably do all the special extra fights and stuff too at the end, because instead of having full character arcade modes like in this game, in which you go through the 8 characters, and eventually maybe you'll face a subs boss that's has something to do with the character's story or motivations or something like that, and then obviously win the game, get an ending and stuff like that. Tekken 7 got really lazy with it. They just put like 2 characters facing each other, and it's just, hey, just win this one fight with this character. Like King, for example, he has like one fight against Jack in the Iron Arena, and then obviously Jack just has a fight against King in the Iron Arena and stuff like that. And, you just get an ending based off of that, and it's just really weird. I don't know, you can just tell it was an afterthought. Like I don't even think there was like a tournament in the story mode of Tekken 8. It was just, I don't know, I just can't rant enough about how terrible the story is in that game. That said though, the gameplay is very top notch. I can't speak for Tekken 8. Tekken 8, I've seen a few clips of the story, and it seems like there's some good stuff there. I don't know if it delivered exactly what everybody wanted, but I mean, that's just kind of the thing with the Tekken story mode, is after a while, probably around Tekken 5ish and stuff like that, you still had characters where you play the arcade mode, and that was like the peak of it in my opinion, because you had like the cutscenes depending on who you picked, and interactions and all that other cool stuff, and then everybody had their own endings. But I think starting Tekken 6, when they did the scenario campaign, that's when the story kind of started to fall off a little bit, and I think at that point everybody was kind of sick of the Mishimas, and they kept every single game, I swear to God, they just introduced a new Mishima into the game. It's like, here we go, it's fresh now, but not really. But I don't know, I mean, on one hand it is what has gotten people into the series, but that said, I think if they just kind of focus on building some new characters, you don't necessarily have to get rid of them. Like, I was pretty irritated. I think I've already probably ranted about it. Heihachi was supposed to die. I don't know. I think the director says that he's sorry if he gave people the impression that Heihachi was supposed to be dead and gone at the end of Tekken 7. I don't really understand why you would have the game end any other way if that wasn't supposed to be the indication, but like I guess that was not. what was supposed to be happening. That's why he's now back. And if he came back as DLC or even just like an on-screen non-canon character, I mean, that's fine. I don't really understand. Just because he's on the roster doesn't mean he has to be a part of the story, or like his story has to be canon or anything like that. You know, obviously getting rid of Heihachi is a pretty big deal. I mean, he's like some people might say Kazuya, but I think Heihachi is by far like the mascot of the series. So I definitely have no disagreements with saying it would be a bad idea to get rid of him entirely, but it's just so stupid that like it's just another trope. Like, I think modern games are just, they're so afraid to move on from the stories, and fighting games especially, that, you know, they just end up like throwing the same stuff at us, and anything that happens in the story, it doesn't matter, you know, because it's just a fighting game. Yeah, nah, that's nonsense to me. And it sucks because, I mean, you could see early on in the series and stuff, like Tekken 3 was probably the biggest shift in the whole series, you know, from Tekken 2 to Tekken 3. Obviously, like, a whole bunch of characters died and never came back other than the tag tournament stories and stuff like that. So they didn't mind taking some risks at some point, and it probably was Tekken 4, unfortunately. I mean, I love Tekken 4. Obviously, it did not do very well in sales, and it's like probably the worst received game in the entire series at this point. And that had a lot of experimentation in it too, with the characters and roster and just overall gameplay and the arenas and stuff like that. And I think because of how that was handled and how it was kind of like a failure in a lot of cases, I guess it even made Harada, you know, the series creator, like, he fell into a depression and thought he was out of touch with gaming and what gamers wanted and stuff. Obviously that wasn't the case, you know, because he still made some really great games, you know. Even if I don't like the stories, the gameplay of the Tekken games have not waned at all. I can't say about Tekken 8, I haven't played that yet. That's the only one I haven't played. Well, that and the Death by Degrees spin-off with Nina Williams, but you know, he's still very great when it comes to gameplay, so I'll never like shoot that down. But yeah, the story, I think it's kind of just like, you know, he has some characters he cares about and wants to present in a story mode fashion and how he sees the characters. I think a lot of other people see certain characters like Asuka Yazama. I think a lot of people want to see her do something because she's associated with the family, and, well, let's also be honest, I mean, she is, you know, she's an Asian chick, she's hot and stuff, so that's probably a big thing for that. I mean, there's a huge community out there that's all about just freaking shipping her and that freaking Lily Rockford, I think it is, together and stuff like that. That just, you know, people are just goofy like that. I think it'd be funny as hell if they, I want them to do it just because it'd be funny if they actually just had them become like an actual couple or relationship. Plus, it might actually, you know, progress the characters in a way, you know. It'd be something other than just whatever they're doing with them now, I can tell you that much. But yeah, there's obviously like a lot of characters in the series that people would like to see do more. And even at this time, you know, I mentioned it in all my previous Tekken videos, you know, Paul used to be a big deal, Hwoarang used to be a big deal, you know, Kuma, I feel like by extension, because of his rivalry with Paul, was kind of somewhat of a big deal, where someone you could take seriously as a fighter. I don't know, then again, I probably already ranted about this quite a few times in my other Tekken videos. I honestly can't remember, I have a terrible memory. But if you did enjoy this rant and you want to see some more, check out my next episode on Fighting Friday. Thank you guys so much for watching, but above all else, please remember to have a nice day.